Welcome back. Main Event Podcast, the Main Event Podcast. I guess this is episode 3.
We've messed up, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, this is episode 3 now. We got one already posted, 2 is coming up next week. So we're trying to stay like a week behind in the videos so that if something comes up through the week, we can always catch everything. I'm your host, Colton Gibson.
PJ Costello.
Cameron Albee.
So, turkey season is pretty much, well, it'll be done by
Sunday.
Yeah, it'll be done by the time this is posted. I'm just going to touch on turkeys just for a little bit because everybody's going to be tired of turkey season by the time this is out.
I am already.
I'm down with it.
I haven't went any more this week. This is Tuesday, so we've got till Sunday. It's been pretty uneventful.
It's Wednesday.
Oh, it's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday. I was like, hold on.
I forgot. Dude, I don't know what day it is half the time anyways.
Well, I was confused. I was like,
But it's been pretty uneventful. Saturday, me and Cam was on a bird hammering. I mean hammering. All morning long. He pitches down, doesn't make beat.
never seen, don't know where he went, never saw him in the field.
He just gone. Like a ghost. And we hunted all morning, come back, eat lunch, and I was like, let's go see if we can find a midday bird. Because I was like, because that bird wasn't roosted with any hens that we are aware of.
Or any other gobblers with him either.
Yeah, so
He's
like,
all by himself.
I was thinking maybe, there'll be some toms out that aren't henned up, more prone to find them in the midday. Never heard a gobble.
Heard one, he was about 100 yards away from us on the ground. Hammered once.
Oh, that was like 8.
Yeah, that was this morning.
Yeah.
That morning. Hammered once, and then after that, we gave up and went ate lunch.
Well, we came back that afternoon.
We came back.
never struck anything.
Saw a hen in the field.
And I went.
You went Sunday.
I went Sunday morning. Didn't have any luck. Or no, I didn't go Sunday morning. I went Sunday afternoon. I slept in Sunday morning. And I went Sunday afternoon. 2 toms. I went up there, done a yelping sequence, nothing. Waited about 10 minutes, yelping sequence, nothing. Which was about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, 5:30. And then some crows sounded off, and I heard, it sounded like 2 birds gobble about 400, 500 yards away. So I loop around trying to get closer to them. Yelp, gobble, and they're just over the hill at that point across the field. So there's no way I can get across the field to them. And they pop up over the hill and they're standing there looking, trying to find the hen. And I've never seen some birds. As they were coming across that hill, they were looking, but they went across that field in like 3 minutes, like on a mission. On a mission. I don't know where they were going, what they were looking for, but I ended up trying to circle around and getting down in front of them. There was a hen at the end of the field. They went straight to her, strutted. I circled down in the woods, popped back up like the same level where they were in the field. Call, nothing. I slip up over the field. And the field, it's basically a hill pretty much, but it's wide open. And I slip up there. Not a soul in the field. So, and I saw the hen. I don't think she was interested. I don't know if she's already been bred and already on a nest and was just out picking, but she was working her way away from the toms. So, and that's another thing I want to talk about is nesting, because for whatever reason, I think I've seen more birds nesting than I've ever seen.
Well, we caught that one hen in the field, or on the field edge in the woods,
Yeah.
laying down. Might have been a nest. Or,
Yeah, we didn't go investigate, and I was like, I ain't getting close to it. But I've found one right beside my house. That's first for me. And then I busted two Sunday afternoon. They were laying in a brush pile from the where they timbered.
yeah,
So that's got me kind of
hoping.
that with the timber and them timbering, it's gonna
Help the population.
help the population.
You just gotta quit busting.
Yeah. I know. So that's partially why I haven't been back, because I was like, I'm on the bank now. I'm like, do I want to go back and kill a turkey or risk busting the hen off the nest? And right now, I'm more worried about our population, and me killing a turkey is not going to help the population.
Yep.
So
No.
it's to that point now where I'm just kind of almost like just hanging it up for the year. I'd love to go. I mean, just like getting up in the mornings and you hearing a bird hammer.
Oh yeah.
Like
Nothing like it.
That Saturday morning was.
Oh yeah. It was. I thought it was gonna happen.
The dude was on fire.
That late in the season, I mean, I thought he was gonna pitch down right to us.
And he was on fire. I mean, gobble. I mean, I bet he gobbled over 100 times.
Yeah. Only called at him twice.
Twice. Because I was like, we're close. We were within 100, 120 yards of him.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I'm going to call 2 times.
Just let him know we're there.
And that was pretty much it. He flew down and
Never saw him.
never
Also
saw him.
saw a coyote right underneath of him
Yeah.
that morning, so that might have had something to do with it.
That's plausible. But other than that, I think I'm going to chalk this season up as a loss.
That's what I'm doing.
But I think with the timbering going on, it's going to help. I'm hoping. I definitely think next year it'll be better because we'll have a lot more. Because right now they timbered everything kind of in the middle of that season where everything's starting to green up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there'll be a lot of stuff still pop up, but in the next month or two. But next year it'll definitely be thicker, so should
Oh yeah.
produce a lot better nesting for the hens. But other than that, I'm gonna just probably call it a year. It's been a rough year for me and Cameron.
I thought about going Sunday.
You ain't gonna go.
I'm probably not gonna go.
Man, it's hard to get motivation, especially this late into the season.
After having so many heartbreaks.
That and just not hearing birds, or like I live for like a midday bird. I love hunting a midday bird. I've only had 2 birds midday.
That was after your wedding shower, wasn't it?
No, this was the second weekend.
Okay.
I've only had 2 birds midday work. But they weren't working because of me, they were working because the hen drug them in. And I screwed it up. So that's pretty much how the season's gone for me. It's just been not good.
Setting up in the wrong places.
That's
birds
where-
not working.
I think it's been 90% of our loss this year has been just setup, wrong setup.
Bad setups.
You
Yeah.
think chasing them makes it worse? Or do you think it would not make a difference?
We made
We can chase them.
Like just staying in one spot, like how we did that one day, how we moved and chased them around. If we would have stayed,
if we would have stayed where I said we would have stayed, we would have been 600 yards off from where they roosted. That's what I'm saying. The patience game. That's why I don't like deer hunting them, because you're taking a shot in the dark of where they're going to be at, especially if they're with hens. Because in that case, they were with hens.
Yeah.
What he's asking is, me and PJ went one Thursday afternoon after work. 2 birds in the field with some hens. We set up on this end of the field, and I say this end of the field, it's like 600-700 yards straight across. We loop around, and it's it's wider or it's longer than it is wide. So it's probably 150 yards in some spots, 200 yards in some spots.
Yeah.
Wide.
Yeah. I'd say so.
So we loop around the side of the field. So we're within what, a couple hundred yards. And I told him where I think they might go roost. And at that point, you're just taking a shot in the dark.
They didn't roost where you thought.
And they didn't roost where we thought they were going to roost. So if we would have stayed where I was standing at when I told you where I thought they were going to roost, we would have killed a tom, if not two.
Yep.
But that's why I can't stand deer hunting them like that, chasing hens. It's taking a shot in the dark. End of the day. But enough of the turkeys. We're going to move on to North Dakota. So we have recently put in for North Dakota. We put in South Dakota, failed. Put in for North Dakota today. And I'm going to tell you something that really ticks me off for one thing. One, their website has no information on it on when the lottery is.
It doesn't say. It just
No.
when it's open.
No, it didn't even have that.
How did you know it was open today then?
I just was like, because on there it says applications early May. I'm like, well, I'm going to sign in and see if there's any lotteries open. Pops up. And I'm like, how is anybody supposed to know that? Unless I'm missing something.
Well, if it was more advertised, but the lady did say that there's 2,000 applicants every
Each
season.
year, yeah.
Every year. And there's only 300 tags available this year, so might be favorable to some people like us putting in the draw.
I get that, but at the same time, it's like, say I don't want to go out of town, or even if I didn't even plan on going out, and I just want to buy a preference point.
Yeah.
Some of these states make it nearly impossible to know when you need to put it in. I think there needs to be a format across the board, and I know each state is different. But each state is literally different when it comes to applications and lotteries and preference points. And each time of the year.
It's drastically different between North and South Dakota how they do it.
Yeah.
And they're both Dakotas.
Both Dakotas.
Both Dakotas. They ought to really have the same system.
I don't know why there's not a form, like you would think February 1st. Because most seasons everywhere are out by February. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Why not? February 1st is lotteries and preference points. February to mid-March or beginning March 1st. February 1st to March 1st. That gives you what, 28, 29 days?
A month.
Whereas each state, like North Dakota ends March 15th. Well, South Dakota, we've already put in and already got told that we ain't getting it. And is it Idaho? Idaho is in December.
Yeah.
It's like,
And Nebraska's in December.
no, it's next month or this month. One, I gotta look.
Yeah, that's the later one. And
Which
the rest of them.
I know they make apps like that tell you, but even the apps like Huntingful doesn't tell you the date or let.
It doesn't tell you the date for every draw.
Yeah.
It tells you certain draws for certain states.
And they're very vague too, because it just says like North Dakota, South Dakota.
Well, my Huntingful email that I got told me that
Did you get a North Dakota one?
no, I don't know if I got North Dakota one or not, but I definitely got. I remember seeing the South Dakota one said non-resident deer archery tag is about to close, and that was like a week before it closed. And it also had like 5 other states with other draws that were closing soon.
Well, it's pretty aggravating though, because like I want to put it in for these states, and then I go in there to look, and it doesn't happen. But how do you keep up with this stuff? And each year it's different.
We just think about it too late, and then we go to look at it, and it's already passed.
I know. Each state is different too, and each year it's different.
South Dakota, for being a newly
Yeah.
Draw state.
draw stated, I think they've
There's-
got
there's
it
a-
under control pretty
They've
well.
got it under control because you can find the dates.
Yeah, and they're also, I think all the states should have an app, like South Dakota.
Yeah.
Their Fish and Game should have an app, because our Fish and Game is a website, which it's an easy website to navigate.
We say it's
Well,
easily.
We say it's easy because we're used to it.
We're used to it and we've used it
But
since we were.
that app that South Dakota has, it is pretty easy, straightforward.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem is it's just a completely different state and you don't understand. You know, they'll have it under something named differently than what you know it as.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think that if I'm gonna complain about something, it's complaining about the fact that I could not find the dates for when the lottery began and ended. Could not. So, if somebody knows where that's at on there, I just want to see if they've got it on there because
That lady told us when it ended, when
Yeah.
it closed, but
March 15th, and that's in 15 or
will be
May 15th.
May 1st tomorrow. So
So in 15 days, 16 days, it was going to end.
yeah,
I've been.
she didn't say when it opened.
No, I should have asked her that. I wish I would have. And that's another thing is North Dakota has 300,
Out of state non-resident tags available.
which is wild.
Which that was pretty. She told us that was pretty much just for a
Mule deer.
mule deer buck. She said if we wanted to come back or wanted to go and kill a whitetail buck or a whitetail doe, what'd she say? August,
I think
July or August there was a draw, and it was more.
lenient.
Yeah, more tags available.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Or-
sure those are like pretty much given
Yeah.
because not many people are just going to go to North Dakota to whitetail hunt. Only people I know of,
It'd be fun though, I think.
only people I've watched is the hunter guys on the podcast.
On the
Hunter
Hunter podcast.
What's his name? I can't remember what his name is. But he's went up there the past 2 years, and the deer population has dwindled.
Going for mule deer or whitetail?
Whitetail. They're supposed to go, I think, this year for mule deer, but and I tried to figure out, and that's another thing that's misleading is they don't have their statistics are way off from what they were telling us. Draw odds and tag allocations for non-residents. I can't find anything for non-resident tag allocations because what I thought I was looking at, that one unit that was 100%, I don't think it must not have been for a non-resident.
No, because what we applied for was statewide. It wasn't zone unless it was like something like how South Dakota has for the Badlands or it's a separate draw for a separate area.
I don't know. And I tried asking how many preference points was going to be needed. Couldn't answer that. And I was like, you know what I mean? It's like, well, why should I even put in for it?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Wonder how they're doing the draw. Is it computer decided by the computer?
I
Are
don't
they
know.
drawing names out of a hat? What are they doing?
I'm sure it's computer. I mean, you got 2,000 applicants. And it's all done by preference points as well, too. So if you've got,
Well, are they taking so many from preference points and then pulling 10 that
That's-
don't have preference points?
I would say preference points probably maybe puts your name in. I don't know how they do that.
I'd like to know.
I'd say based on preference point, you get in there more after so many years. If you have preference points, you just
Yeah, but you're almost guaranteed at some point, though.
Yeah, it's like in Kentucky, putting in for the elk draw, which our elk draw ends this week.
Today.
Yeah, something, I don't know, I got a text about it, email about it. After 25 years, you're guaranteed, so.
So, how many? Yeah, I don't know how that works. It's a question for. I don't know. I don't know who you would ask that. Who's in charge of that?
You gotta call North Dakota back and ask.
They did. She did give me a number to a guy, like a full-on cell or phone number to talk to about preference points and how many preference points I needed, and I never called him. So
So you're asking these questions even though you had,
it should be on your website. We are in 2025, man.
how long has North Dakota been a draw state?
I could not tell
A
you.
while,
It's
or?
been long enough.
Okay. So, I mean, South Dakota doesn't tell you how many preference points you need either.
I think they do.
Do they? I don't remember ever seeing.
Probably not because they just started last year or the year before last.
2 years ago.
So I mean, at that point,
Yeah, you're pretty much guaranteed if you had one preference point last
Yeah.
year, which we did, and we went.
and then this year we didn't. So
We didn't have any preference points. I wish we should have asked what their, how many tags were available.
Should have called them and asked.
Yeah.
I want to say somewhere around the neighborhood that there was 1,500 tags.
For South Dakota.
For South Dakota. I wonder how many applicants they have every year.
And I think it was 5,000. I don't know why
That's a
that's
quarter.
skewed.
Was it? It's less than a quarter.
I don't know why that's
More than a
skewed
quarter.
so much.
Yeah.
North Dakota to South Dakota, 2,000 versus 5,000, unless other than the fact that North Dakota would be further than for everybody to drive. You know what I mean? You're at the most northern, one of the most northern states versus a whole state below.
Yeah, and it took us like 22 hours to get there anyway.
Yeah.
We did go to the furthest northwest
Unit,
unit.
but
We go north, I might just get an plane flight.
No, you ain't flying.
you ain't flying.
You ain't flying.
Then I'll,
No, you're gonna sit through that car ride with us.
You gotta drive too.
Yeah. Unless you pull a Colt and drive all the way.
Yeah, I drove the whole way home.
I don't know how he did it. I kept
Dude.
asking.
I was ready to go home, man.
He was ready to go home, but there was a couple times when we were going through Indiana or Missouri or wherever we went through, Mississippi. Well, I don't remember.
Mississippi, bro. That's complete south.
Oh, that is Missouri. We went through Missouri. We went through
It's Missouri and Iowa.
Iowa, yeah.
We only touched Missouri.
There were some points I was.
That was when we were going north. That going was home. Was it? I know on our way there.
We went back through St. Louis.
Yeah, I know, but I was like on our way there when you asked me if I wanted to change. I was like, yeah,
Oh.
because I was going line to line.
Yeah. but
I was going
you
line
got-
to line.
Yeah, you got that way. You got that way on the way back at some point. Some points, I was like, I can feel it. You woke me up once. I was like, might have to take him out of the seat. Make him pull over.
back to sleep.
I don't remember.
That truck sleeps pretty well though.
That was a rough. That's a long ride. That is a long ride.
It's the only time I've seen him eat McDonald's too.
That was great.
Wow.
That was when they had the chicken Big Mac. That thing was good.
We got McDonald's twice. We got it for
We got it
breakfast,
for breakfast.
and then on the way back we
And
got
on
it
the way
for
back.
supper.
Yep.
Hang on. Naughty.
So pretty much North Dakota sounds like it's a loss this year.
Nah, you gotta have faith.
300 tags
Yeah, we're gonna be 3 of them.
and 2,000 applicants.
She said there's usually 2,000 applicants. Maybe there'll be only 100.
Yeah, okay.
You never know.
I have heard that North Dakota is a 2 preference point state. So you're guaranteed on your second year. I have heard that. So,
2027.
looks
That's
like,
something to look forward to.
yeah, so it looks like maybe next year we go to South Dakota, and then the next year we go to North Dakota.
And then one preference point for 2028 for South.
Uh-huh.
Then we'll have a preference point for 2028 for South Dakota.
I want to go on a backpack hunt though.
I wanna go,
Like out west.
oh yeah, I wanna go to Utah, hunt, black bears.
Utah or Idaho. I've heard Idaho's really good. We need to. I did not look if we got a preference point on North Dakota. I was sitting there thinking about that.
I don't know, you did all the advocating,
might
so
have to get on
I don't know.
I'll have to get on.
I kinda like that you could just add people to the,
Well, I think you can do it on South Dakota too, but it's just easier for us to type in the if you can find the code.
So
well, it was in that email that they sent me.
how is Idaho's draw?
December. But Idaho's is first come, first serve. It's over the counter.
So we gotta take a trip to Idaho to buy it?
No, you can drive all the way to Idaho.
No, I
You
wouldn't
said
be,
over the
I
counter.
wouldn't be driving
No,
to Idaho.
it's
I'd be
online.
fine.
But you get online in a queue is the problem.
Kinda like
What we're gonna do is take
Nebraska.
off work, and at 12 a.m. that day, we're gonna be sitting there waiting.
Yeah, we have to look, see what it is next year.
This
Or
December.
whenever y'all want to go, because that hunt is going to be different than what we would do.
Yeah, we'd actually have to camp out there.
Yeah,
That'd be pretty fun.
it's similar to like an elk hunt, pretty much.
Yeah.
And I also want to do an elk hunt, but I don't know where I would want to go for that.
Let's go to Washington.
Nah, their seasons are awful just because they killed the world record out there. They're extreme, like, their seasons are horrible.
Why? Like,
They don't have a long season at all.
oh.
It's a very, not red state.
Oh. I knew that, but I didn't think it.
No, it's awful. But
It says, oh, you can do moose, bighorn sheep, and mountain goat are due on April 30th.
yeah, let's go out there and do that.
I killed bighorn sheep or moose.
Yeah.
I want to kill mountain goat. One of the
We'll just
white
go ahead and do
ones.
a mountain lion.
Deer, elk, pronghorn, fall bear, and fall turkey.
We got
And
black
swan
goats.
applications are due
Swan.
on June 5th.
I like to kill a swan too. I get that thing
Well, we
back.
can get on there. Is that Idaho?
Yeah, where
Yeah.
was that?
It's deer, elk, pronghorn, fall bear, fall turkey, and swan applications are due on June 5th.
Mine changed it. You weren't keeping up.
This is
with
what
it.
I'm talking
You
about,
weren't
man.
keeping up with it. That's on you. You said change this year to year, and you still didn't check it.
That's so aggravating. I mean, I guess once I get in the motion of each state, like me and you know when South Dakota is each year. Like
April.
Around that time.
Yeah, you get your own. in
Now we know when North Dakota is, which is, I'm assuming,
End of May.
End of
early-
April.
or End of April.
Early May.
Early May. Yeah.
but it's pitiful you gotta learn that way about it. That should be like poster boarded on the front of their fish and game.
Well, they might. Well, I don't know.
It's more money for them.
Yeah, cause it's still like you still gotta pay. Well, with that North Dakota, you can choose to pay after
Yeah.
if you get drawn. So they really ain't gaining anything unless you
Donated.
decide to donate, which most people will because it might think that.
Help our chances.
That's a
Help their-
question. That's a
help their
question for the
chances.
audience. Just donating money to, say North Dakota or South Dakota.
Just any draw state. Does it Help?
Does it help your draw odds? That is a question.
I would make the argument that it does. Be like, oh, little Timmy gave us $50. Let's act like he's got a preference point. Put him with the preference points
Act
kids.
like. I feel like it's got to be more than $50. I think it's got to be like a couple hundred, if not $1,000. If you're just throwing money around.
Watch you throw $1,000 at them and then you still don't get drawn.
Still get
You get
drawn.
a thank you email.
Yeah. Oh God.
You get a hat as well.
It was a North Dakota hat and
It's not even
t-shirt.
a Richardson 112.
It
I
was
would
just some Walmart
Gas station hat.
gas station hat.
says North Dakota on it.
But I don't know. It's pretty aggravating having to go through those
Application process.
applications and not knowing when. Like I just got lucky that I looked today and called
Yeah.
because they were like, "Yeah, it ends May 15th." I'm like, "Well, nice of y'all to put that on your website." I was like, "There's no information on your website about that. Zero." But Hunting Fool has nothing on there, and I can't blame Hunting Fool. It's an app, but like, I don't know. I'm just complaining. I like to complain a lot.
What was that app? Was
Go
it
Hunt.
Go Hunt? But you gotta pay for it, and it's like
Yeah.
it was like $200 for a year's subscription or something.
No, one of them's like $20. I think it's like $20.
How much is Go Hunt's?
I don't know. I know it's pretty cheap, and I thought about doing it just to have it. But I don't know. Even on there, it's not 100%.
$170 a year, 14.
What?
$14.50 a month.
That's disgusting. $170 a year for that?
Or $14.50 a month.
What do they do?
Provides access to research tools, filtering options, application strategies to help hunters plan their hunts. And so this tier offers more comprehensive service with additional features and benefits, including an advanced level of research, application assistance, and more personalized support.
$170 though.
I was pretty sure it was close to 200.
That's pretty wild. $170. You were to be calling me and texting me, telling me what the dates are for each state I want to go hunt in the next couple of years.
Yeah,
And you better plan. You better plan it for me.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, you should already
Be like, yeah, this state you can go guaranteed this year to go on a mule deer hunt on.
Yeah.
$170.
I was pretty sure it was close to 200.
That's.
What are you looking at over there?
Because I was looking at the deer lottery stats, and it has multiple areas. It says like 2A, there's 300, and 2B, there's 900.
units.
There's 900.
That's not the case though.
I don't understand that. Why?
That's what I'm saying. It's extremely misleading for me.
Maybe that's resident.
Successful applicants, total applicants.
We're talking about the North Dakota on their website. They have draw statistics and tag allocations. And the amounts that they have on there for each unit is not what I was expecting.
Yeah,
Like,
it was
what I thought was what was on here, but they told us there was 300 tags
statewide.
statewide, and I'm like, what?
So,
Which good for them. I'm not going to complain about North Dakota only having 300 tags. If that's
No.
what needs to happen, then that's what needs to happen.
Yeah.
You know, and we complained about that in the last podcast. Like, states need to buckle down on this stuff.
And get ahead of population control.
Yeah, to keep from overkill.
Declining.
in this area, 1,991
That's
people
what
applied.
That's what I'm saying.
And it says that,
That might have just been last year, and then they changed it this year.
it says if you have 0,
I know.
that's
I know, I've done looked at that. That's why I based my places on where I wanted to go off of.
I wonder if maybe she don't know exactly fully what she's talking about, and she's
Maybe.
that can't 300 tags out of resident tags for the entire state, and 2,000 for the entire state. All that applies.
Both of them said that though.
Did you call someone else afterwards?
So I called, I had a question, she answered it, hung up, and then I thought of another question, called. She couldn't answer it, so she's transferred me over to licensing.
Yeah.
Because I was asking about preference points. How many preference points do I need
Yeah.
to draw? Because I was like, by that, I thought the way the draw was going to go by units. So like you just pick 2 units that you want to go to. One your favorite, second is your backup, and then that's how it would be drawn. Because the way that shows, it's like, oh, there's 900 tags for this unit, 300 tags for this unit, there's 100 tags for this unit, there's, so on and so forth. And that's not the case for it at all.
It even says here, unit selection. When you go to apply for it, you apply for units.
Where do you see that?
Right here, strategy, unit selection. License availability page for the number of licenses available in each unit.
And that's not even right.
No, I would almost call that guy and talk to him. He's probably gonna know more about it. Because the way the website
Because
says
it shows early May. It's April.
it makes you wonder if certain areas, units open up earlier, which I don't know why they would do that. Why not open up the whole state units and apply and do all the draw together? But it makes you wonder if they break it down.
This should not be this confusing though.
No. Not at all.
Go on there and look at lotteries. Go back on there
Okay.
and see what lotteries they have. Go to hunting or
A lot of information.
yeah. Deer resident and non-resident doesn't say nothing. I haven't looked at availability. Lottery information and license availability. Lottery application deadline Wednesday, June 4th. Date tentative. That's dude, yeah. I'm gonna call him tomorrow. Because there's no information on there at all.
What are you looking at?
It says that you have to draw, like, put in for certain units. And certain units do
Well,
only
what-
have 300 tags.
What were you on?
North Dakota's website, Fishing Game.
Yeah.
But whenever you go to apply, it doesn't say anything.
It says any deer.
Yeah.
I'd like to call him tomorrow and try to talk with him.
It might be a separate draw. Those might be specialty zones that you gotta apply for. Like the Black Hills.
Yeah, but it still doesn't say any dates at all. It says June 4th for deer.
You just have,
Is the
have to call.
deadline.
I mean, yeah, they might not have dates on there, but I'm sure that whoever you want to call tomorrow probably can get you somewhere. Get you someone that can explain to us better.
You shouldn't have to do that though, is the problem. South Dakota had their dates specific on where you're hunting at.
They're just not as tech savvy as South Dakota. They don't
I
have,
guess.
They don't have as good as IT as South Dakota.
I guess. I don't know. We'll just call tomorrow morning, which they're Central Time. No, they're Mountain, depending on where they're at.
I was like, it's an hour behind.
Me.
Yeah, an hour behind y'all.
So that could be Mountain Time, depending on
Yeah,
which
it
part.
wasn't. Wherever we stayed at, it was an hour behind you.
Yeah, we're Mountain Time.
I'd say, hey, they're probably Mountain Time.
I guess it depends
Man,
on what side of the state you're on.
That was nice.
Oh yeah, Mountain Town.
Coming from over here.
Yeah.
Because I was 2 hours behind them. They
Yeah.
were 2 hours behind me.
So it was nice for you. For me, I was like, I get used to this, because they were an hour behind us.
Yeah.
So like, waking up at 4 a.m. was like waking up at 5.
Yeah, we usually woke up at 5.
It was like waking up for 6 for him.
Yeah. We usually woke up at 4:30 or 5.
Yeah.
Some days we pushed it to 6.
Yeah.
It was
Depending on
nice.
where we were hunting at.
It was nice. Well, yeah.
So Confusion is the state we are in right now, as
Yeah.
far as North Dakota goes.
Fully.
We don't even know what we applied for, but we're applied.
It said any deer, or deer. What is it
It
looking
said any deer. I just looked at what we had applied for.
Just send a text or email out to me.
I got an email.
Should got an email.
I'll check it.
What time did I apply?
It's about
It was like on 10:30 your time.
We can apply for Nevada. There's a mule deer draw ends next week.
Any deer bow is what we applied for.
Well, I guess I'll just keep getting on there and see what else other lotteries they have.
That's the only lottery available right now.
Yeah.
Like I just looked if there was any other available to us. That's the only one.
yeah. All I got was an email saying that you
Oh,
have access.
yeah. That's the email I got, that you have access to apply and buy licenses for me.
Oh yeah. Oh god.
Not that we applied. Actually, I don't know. I might have got another email.
I don't have any email.
I don't. Oh, that's the only email I have.
No.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we applied at 10 o'clock this morning.
Well, I guess we can move off of that because I've complained enough about North Dakota and their horrible website and planning.
Maybe not horrible. Maybe just
It's not good.
Just needs a little.
It's
Well,
not
that's good.
good.
Needs a little
Could be.
TLC.
Yeah, needs a little TLC. Could be better.
I'm gonna say it like this: North Dakota, your big brother South Dakota is doing better.
Definitely not getting drawn down.
Yeah, definitely ain't.
We-
They're just doing better at their website. I'll just put it like
Yeah,
that.
I like the app. They
You got an app,
invest into
You
an
can
app.
see season dates and application dates. Straightforward. Everything's divided with resident, non-resident. Like
Mhm.
it's subdivided, side by side.
What you need for that draw that you're putting in for. If
Yeah.
you get it, your habitat stamp and everything that you gotta buy.
I think almost all of them have like you have to have habitat stamp. But
But South Dakota makes you buy it
before
before.
they
so
get that money,
They're getting their $25.
I don't think that's a bad idea.
No, that's definitely good on South Dakota.
North Dakota, you're getting screwed. Your big brother again.
They're getting that money.
They getting that $25 while I have the option of saying no. So people that are confused right now, you could at South Dakota you have to buy a habitat stamp in order to put in for a lottery.
And it's $25 up
It's
front.
$25 up front, and you get there's like 3 cards you can choose from.
That's
Like,
$5 more if you want a card, an actual
Yeah.
card. It's 25.
and if you're like us, you always want a
You
hard
got it.
card. 'cause
I've
it
got
just
I've
looks
got a
neat.
card. I've got a card the past 3 years. They're in a little box.
They're neat looking, and
Like this year they had mule deer on them. Last year they had
there's just like
a cabin with either ducks or geese flying
There's
over
geese.
them.
But North Dakota, you have the option of opting out on that if you don't get drawn. So South Dakota's getting that $25 no matter what. So if there's
Mhm.
2,000 people putting in for it, they're getting
$25 a piece.
$25 a
I'm
piece.
not doing the math.
North Dakota, I'd be willing to bet. I'd say probably 50% of people probably said yes. Even though I don't know why you would.
No, I will. That's the question again. Will it help
Yeah.
within the with getting you a tag?
I don't think it does, but
Maybe they get put in a different group. People that pay up front, people that don't. They get put with the group that got preference points. They go in a little.
Well, since turkey season's about over, when are you gonna start messing with your food plots?
I gotta find time because
I had spray come in yesterday. I gotta go and
what'd you
probably,
get?
what is that? That whitetail.
Institute.
Yeah, their broadleaf spray and their clethodone that they've got.
You can buy that cheaper than what you can buy.
Yeah, no, I couldn't find the broadleaf spray.
24DD. Is the
Well,
name.
that's what I looked for, and I couldn't find it.
Butarac is the name.
Butarac.
Butarac.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
like
it took me forever to find something.
Well, that's
like the
what-
name.
I
Like people
scrolled
talking,
through-
they're like, yeah, 24DB. Well, you look
Well,
up
I was-
24DB. There's no like,
You would find 24B. It wasn't 24DB.
yeah.
I was like, that's something different.
You can buy. It's called Butarac, but it's got 24DB in it, and it's for
Yeah.
broadleaf.
Yeah, it was pretty expensive.
Yeah, and then you can buy a whole jug of clethodim.
Yeah, I had Clifton left over from last year, so it should still be
You
good.
can buy it cheaper than what you could buy
Well, I
from white.
I bought a gallon, or maybe 2.5 gallon from Royal King last year.
Yeah, I've got like 2.5 gallons sitting out here, but I need to find 24DB. I don't have any. And
I wonder if Southern States has it. I bet they got something
They
for.
probably could order it.
Yeah, they probably can order it.
Probably would call because I need to get some.
Yeah.
Because my clover plots, I've not got to do anything on to them yet.
Well, that one that we always checked walking past, it looks
Oh,
it
yeah.
looks good.
Well, it's got some cool season grasses in it that I need to kill, but it's just like small patches.
Yeah, that other one that we walked through, it's got some weeds mixed in.
Well, it needs to be, both of them need to be bush hogged, and then I need to go through and spray.
Yeah, especially with the amount of rain that we've had, it's just taken up.
Yeah.
It's blown up.
Well, Saturday I'm busy, and then
Yeah.
Sunday.
Well, it's supposed to rain Saturday anyway, so.
Yeah. And then I'm usually don't have much time in the afternoons. I might be able to find time next week. Next week I definitely want to get into my other food plot and spray for the soybeans, and then I got to spray for because I'm going to plant Egyptian wheat for screening. It's way cheaper to buy that stuff.
Then
Then
one of
like-
those prepackaged
Yeah.
screening mixes.
Well, you can buy, so like there's multiple different types of screenings out there. So like Miscanthus is a screen, but it's super expensive. Super
Market
expensive.
just grows better.
Well, it's a perennial, so it keeps going back. It doesn't spread, but it just keeps growing back year after year after year. Whereas all your other screens, you buy it, you plant it once, and then it dies.
You gotta plant back every year.
It would almost be worth it.
I would just plant corn all around.
Yeah.
I mean,
Doing exactly opposite of what I want the screen to do.
We
what?
To keep the deer out of it. I want the deer for the screening. That's the main purpose of the
Well,
screen.
the corn, once it shoots up, I mean, be 7 foot tall.
They still gonna eat it though. I don't want the deer eating it.
Go out there and pick it off. Throw it in a pile.
Plus, corn isn't that great of a screen. You'd have to plant it like
You probably have to
10
plant.
foot wide.
You probably have to plant 2 rows of it. It'd be all right.
2 rows.
2 rows.
You can see right through that.
No. Not when it's nice and green.
We'll go one corn.
Depends.
You're right.
Okay, so like,
Yeah, when it's nice and green, but I ain't
So,
hunting whenever
but
it's nice
like
and
you're
green.
doing it by hand. It's not like you're in a combine. They're planting it 3 foot apart from every
I mean, yeah.
in every row.
I would about the receipt spreader. Just
I mean, we would technically that's what I would have to do because I don't have a corn binder. You can seed it like that, but you just gotta be sure you get it covered.
So it germinates.
Yeah, you gotta, and something doesn't eat it. That's the big problem with that, because
Well, that's with any seed. Birds are gonna pick any seed.
our corn is soybeans on the farm. I think they've been planted. Corn has.
what? They've planted?
Yeah, people's been planting.
I don't know about beans yet, but I know they're planting corn.
I ain't seen no farms around here planted.
Mm.
Nothing.
They've been planting over at around the house for a while.
Corn's in.
For,
I don't like
for
that.
probably 2 weeks.
I know that I went through and ripped the ground. But I don't know, because usually they'll do like on the farm, it's just your corn and soybeans. Like last year they split it up, so like one side of the field, because
Well, that was probably
It's
also
corn.
because
beans.
that was probably also because of the rain last year. The amount of rain that we got was keeping them from planting, so they planted beans in place of corn.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, I was like, our farm last year was supposed to be corn and they planted beans. It's
yeah,
the third
they
row.
planted beans in place of corn because of
How late they got into
yeah.
But he split it up by section, so corn, beans, corn over here beans. It's just
I've
That,
not really seen that though.
no,
and then it was like so here because it splits up because there's a like creek that runs down through it. So it was like beans, corn, then it'd be beans and then back corn.
That seems like a headache.
yeah, you gotta switch the head out. Unless you got 2 combines.
And your planter's got to be changed.
Yeah,
Like
you gotta change your
settings in it.
seed
I don't know.
disc and your.
The guy that does it, he comes in and does it. He's already been down in there.
That just seems too much of a headache.
I saw one time this guy had, they had beans planted, like I don't know how wide it would have to be. So like for a combine, the head of them, the head of the combine, it was planted that wide. Then they had a row of corn planted, like a 6
And
or
it's
7
alternated?
row. Yeah, and it was alternated.
Huh.
I don't know the purpose of that. I'm not a farmer. If anybody has any idea
I
what that
haven't
is for,
No idea.
I've never seen that.
I've seen that one time. I can't remember where I seen it at.
I don't know where he planted corn. Don't know where he planted beans at, but I'm excited to see how it comes up.
I mean, I'm just ready to see deer. I'm tired of turkeys.
We saw deer. We saw deer every day.
Yeah, we saw more deer than we did turkeys.
Well, it's like last Saturday.
We saw more turtles.
Well, yeah, we saw 3 turtles, 4 turtles,
Four.
four
Yeah.
box turtles. They look out there looking for love right now.
Two of them.
Two of them were in love.
Yeah, they were.
The other 2 were just. I don't
Lonely
know. They,
strangers.
yeah.
We talked about that. How do turtles find each other?
Yeah, they were in the middle of this cornfield.
Beanfield.
Yeah, bean field.
How do they find it? They
wait.
can't. They can't communicate.
Grass a 1.5 foot tall.
How does a box turtle find another box turtle?
I like how we found them.
We're on 500 acres, and how does
We found 4 of them. They were all 100 yards, 2.
a couple hundred yards within each other? It's not like they're a tom out there gobbling
No,
at a hen.
no. We talked about that Saturday.
I know. What sense does that make?
Mm-hmm.
And how do they find each other to mate?
I don't know. It's just like seeing snapping turtles on the road
Yeah.
or sliders on the road.
What is this outstanding, stupid fact you're about to throw at us?
Box turtles have strong homing instincts and typically remain within a small territory, often under 2 acres.
So
Mating only occurs if the home range of a male and female overlap and are adjacent.
What?
A long-term study shows that box turtles bump into each other to find mates, with mating only occurring if such encounters happen.
Oh,
So they might not even
They're,
mate.
out, they're out there in the dark looking for each other pretty
Yes,
They might not even mate their whole entire lifetime.
pretty much.
much. Just because they never bump into each other.
Bump into, yeah. It had quotation bump. So pretty much it's got to overlap or be like right next to.
That's crazy.
Oh, I mean, we talked about it Saturday. It's like, what about if you finally bump into a turtle? It's another dude. What do you do?
Yeah.
Don't go that way. There's nothing back there. I spent 2 weeks out there.
That's crazy. That is it.
So you've seen a
Hey,
rare
like and
happening.
subscribe.
We saw 4
Like and
turtles.
subscribe because you now know how box turtles find each
yeah.
other to mate.
Tell your buddies.
Tell your buddies,
Tell your buddies.
tell your friends, your family, everyone.
Be like, just be glad we're not box turtles. Just
I mean, you run to each other. Hey, there's no chicks over there, dude.
Yeah.
Don't go that way.
It's like, don't go that way. There's nothing that way. That's why I was heading that way. Well, I guess you go east, I go west. We'll split the difference.
What about Weast? Oh, that's hilarious.
I'll see you in another life.
Yep.
Never bump into you again.
Yeah, it takes you another year to get
So
back there.
what y'all seen was a rare.
Oh yeah.
That's funny because I saw that on somebody posted on their Snapchat story. The same thing. There's 2 box turtles.
You'll
And I was-
probably never see that again.
It was literally like the day before, and I was just so happy me and him stumble up on it.
4 of them. It was like
And I was like-
stumbled on one.
And I was
by
sitting there, I was
itself.
like, how do these things even find
Oh,
each
yeah.
other? I was like,
We were in the middle of the field.
because have you ever seen how fast them dudes walk? Not fast.
Well, that area, 2 acres, is probably their home. So they're in the middle of the field. They're away from their home. I mean,
I have found a nest from a turtle laying eggs.
up on top, like on that field. There you go.
Isn't that
they
wild?
they know they're in the area. So
I wonder how. I ain't gonna ask you that. How old them things live?
I'm gonna look it up. I wanna know. It's an awful lonesome life.
We got off the tangent here. We go from turkey hunt to North Dakota to food plots to box turtles.
Box turtle. 25 to 40 years in the wild.
What?
25 to 40 years in the wild. In captivity, they can live longer, even exceeding 50 years.
So you're telling me we might have ran up on 4 box turtles that are older than
Someone
us?
on Reddit has a turtle named Franklin. He's 20.
All right, we're off the box
Yep.
turtles.
So next.
But back to food plots. I got a Gly, my one field. And then I guess I'm not going to till it again because it's already been tilled. And then I'm going to seed it.
Is that one blend that you got? Or was thinking about getting from?
Yeah.
Did you get that from? Whitetail?
No, it's walnut, wasn't it? Oh, the one I got last year?
No, this year.
Walnut Hill. wasn't
That's
it?
what it was.
Walnut Hill.
Yeah, they sell trees and everything.
Yeah, they got 2 different.
We figured out that it was 2 different sites. One for their food plots and one for their
Trees.
fruit-bearing trees and nut-bearing trees.
Yeah.
If you want, like, they got pears and persimmons and
Apple and
apples
They
and
got nut trees.
then they got oaks and hickories and whatnot.
Pretty.
25 years. So I'm like, why is this farm so many white oaks?
Well, they got. I want to plant some like fruit bearing trees, just cause.
They had plum trees and whatever you wanted. Like they had like
Pears.
they had trees that fruited early and fell early season, and then ones that
Late.
fell late season.
Sure, you need some apple trees.
Yeah.
There's an apple tree out in my mom's, and
I want to do that. In
she can't keep a
persimmons.
deer off of it. We got a persimmon tree too.
We've got. I know of one persimmon, and it's young on our farm.
This one's this big around.
Yeah, this persimmon tree's like this big. So, I definitely want to go through and do
Well,
that.
you gotta get the right persimmon too. Like, there's Japanese ones that the persimmon's like that big, which is deer love, from what I understand. They're a delicacy in Japan. But then there's also early fall, early fruiting, early falling, early falling persimmons and late falling
I don't know
persimmons.
what these were. These are always soft and orange.
They're just
Well,
like
that's
that big.
regular persimmons, but there's some that fall early, ones that fall later in the year.
Yeah. But I definitely want to do that in the next. It's too late for that now because I should have done that in like January, February.
And it takes probably 3 or 4 years for them to start fruiting.
And depending on what you get.
Yeah.
Like apple trees is like 7.
Yeah, I was talking about them persimmons before they start fruiting.
And then, but I've got to prep that field and get it ready, and I want to get it ready in the next 2 weeks, just so that it's in and on a timely rain. Because I've heard we are due for a bad drought this year.
We had drought last year.
So I was telling PJ about it today. Mark Drury, of all people, says 2025 is the year of a horrible drought. He said, and the reason, and I'm not saying Mark Drury is the god of all gods and he's a weatherman, but that dude's killed a lot of big deer and he knows a lot about food plots, so you got to take something with
We
it.
had a pretty bad drought last year. We got all of our rain early,
Yeah,
forced everyone to plant late,
and then
and then all the crops came up short.
Yeah.
Unless you planted early last year.
well, there was a couple of rains where you could get it in, and like there was like a
Yeah.
week there we had where we got some more rain afterwards, and they got some of our farm in, but some of the other guys that planted the other side of the farm, they didn't, and the soybeans came up about 1.5 feet, 2
Yeah,
foot.
they came a bunch of farms came up short last year.
So, but I've heard this is what Mark Drury explained it as. He said there is a yearly timeline of 89 years of a massive drought, and each massive drought we have had has fell in that 89th year. And he says 2025 is the 89th year since the last horrible drought. So, take it for what it's worth, people. If you got the chance to plan early, I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't really think there's a negative outlook. The only negative outlook on planting soybeans early is not having green beans in Kentucky in September, which is a key factor on killing deer in early season is finding green beans. And that's a fact, Jack. Because if you have green beans that first week or two,